Hello, 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 good people. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. This is your guy, your educated, miscommunicated, Mr. Free Thinker, coming back at you live from the Lone Star State with another edition of the Media Mike Speaks. It seems the Lone Star State of Texas has been in the news quite a bit lately. And we just came off a deep freeze. And we are now going into a mask-free mandate beginning March 10th. Orders from our governor. Now, we are dealing with a situation involving the Dallas Police Department. Just in case you may or may not have heard, we have a Dallas police officer charged with arranging two killings. This is coming to us from ABC News. This is tragic. Now, the chief, which name is Eddie Garcia, he's the first Hispanic chief in the history of the Dallas Police Department, just came in. And it's always ironic when a chief takes a position, or for anyone in a top leadership position, it's always met right up front with some type of scandal or tragedy. It's always right when you first come in your new role, you always get hit with something. I don't know if that's the universe talking, or I don't know, or the challenges you may face, but at the end it does somewhat level out. I would say that's my professional opinion on that. But anyway, let's take a look here. It reads, a Dallas police officer was arrested Thursday on 2 counts of capital murder, more than a year and a half after a man told investigators that he kidnapped and killed 2 people at the officer's instruction in 2017, according to authorities. Brian Reiser, you see the officer here, a 13-year veteran of the force, was arrested Thursday morning and taken to the Dallas County Jail for processing, according to a statement from the police department. Jail records show Reiser is held without bond, pending an appearance before a judge, but do not list an attorney for him. Now, I think these are capital murder charges, if I'm not mistaken, and you don't get bond for that. The state of Texas does not allow you to get bond for capital murder charges. So even though you can get bond, now the Constitution, it's not written in the Constitution that you have an actual right to bail. That's from the federal standpoint, but the states can, in the state's constitution, you can, but in this case, in a capital offense, they do align with the federal and say no. Now in our Constitution, it just says excessive bail shall not be imposed, but it doesn't say you have a right to it, period. Because people think that all the time, like you have a right to. No, you do not. No, you do not. That is nowhere written in our United States Constitution that you have a right to bail. But states, to a certain degree, in their constitution, they can say so. But in the state of Texas, capital offense, no, it's not going to happen. So at all. So anyway, this case here is involving this officer, who, as I just stated, has been charged, and he was arrested in the unconnected killings of a Lisa Science, 31, and an Albert Douglas, 61, after a man came forward in August 2019 and told police he had kidnapped and killed them at Reiser's direction. Police chief, according to the chief, Eddie Garcia, in a news conference, he said investigators don't know the motives for the killings, but they were not related to Reiser's police work. So apparently this must have happened off duty. So very interesting here. Garcia did not explain why Reiser was arrested nearly 20 months after the witness came forward, and police declined to answer subsequent questions about the timing, mainly because an investigation was going on. I mean, you have to really get your ducks in a row here before you go after one of your own, in that sense. Reiser joined the police department in 2008, and Garcia acknowledged that he had been patrolling Dallas while under investigation for the killing. So you see, so they have to make sure. Investigations sometimes take a while. A lot of times people don't understand that. They don't just happen overnight, like go get him now. It doesn't work that way. The chief stressed that his homicide division and the FBI were still investigating, and said the department was reviewing Reiser's arrests. So yes, all of his records will be open to see were there any type of nefarious things going on during his time on the force, when it started or ended, or if it started from the beginning. We don't know. Cyan's body was pulled from the Trinity River in southwest Dallas on March 10, 2017, with several bullet wounds. The chief said Douglas was reported missing that year and his body hasn't been found. Now, 3 men were charged with capital murder for the killing of Cyans. That was Kevin Kidd, Emmanuel Kilpatrick, and German Simmons. Kilpatrick is serving life in prison for the killings of his father and son. Kidd and Simmons remain in Dallas County Jail on capital murder charges stemming from the killings of Cyans and the father and son. Simmons is also charged in another death. One of the men charged with Cyans' killings told police that he and Reiser were involved in burglaries when they were young, according to an affidavit for Reiser's arrest. It does not identify the man by name. Now, this is where we have to look at things here. So apparently this officer, former officer, he violated department policy, which is a clear department policy violation. As you all know, DPD, Dallas Police Department, is a civil service department. So it is extremely difficult for you to be dismissed. You will have to do something very, very, very serious to be let go once you pass your probationary period. And this is one of them, because this is a criminal charge. That's a clear-cut violation policy. Goodbye. They can't help you. Simple as that. So, apparently Mr. Reiser still had friends that he grew up with and didn't want to cut ties. So, I'm not trying to totally discredit this man. He is innocent until proven guilty, this former police officer. But however, it seems to me he had some ties he could not let go, or some bad habits he could not let go. Well, anyway, let's read on here. More recently, Reiser and the man allegedly hatched a plan to rob drug stash houses, but they didn't follow through with it. Instead, according to the affidavit, the man told investigators that Reiser offered to pay him a total of $9,500 to kidnap and kill Douglas and later Cyans. Wow. The affidavit states that Reiser told the hired killer Cyans was an informant. The document does not elaborate, and police declined to answer questions about whether Cyans, that is the victim that was killed, had some connection to the department. The murder charges are not the officer's first alleged crimes. As we read on here, in May 2017, he was involved, the former officer, Reiser, was involved in a domestic violence charge for allegedly assaulting and injuring an ex-girlfriend. It wasn't immediately clear how that case was resolved, police said. Police said Reiser received summary discipline for the incident. Well, as in law enforcement, there are things that happen, and there are things that they can manipulate. That's not saying that all police officers are involved in this. It's just that they are connected to the city government, so therefore favors sometimes are done. That is true. It should not be that way, but those things do happen. No excuse for it at all, but those things do happen. Well, we will not allow anyone to tarnish the badge, according to the chief. I do agree. I do agree, sir. Well, good people, like I always say, there are 3 reasons why people become police officers. Number 1, those who have a true desire to protect and serve, those who just need a job, and those who join for nefarious reasons. And like Chief Garcia stated, he will not allow anyone to tarnish the badge. I agree, Chief. And remember, good people, not all police officers are bad. This officer betrayed his oath and the people he was sworn to serve. I guess he thought he got away with this and was free as a bird. Now it looks like he will have plenty of time to think about this, facing the time that he may serve. All right, good people, sad to say, but that's it for today. And remember, if you had or have a bad day, like this former officer. Unfortunately for him, it probably won't be okay. This is your guy, your educator, communicator, free thinker. Subscribe, share, and like so that I can keep rocking on the mic.